It's been a day or two since we've seen this guy face to face. Babs, listen, I'll do it right now. How you doing, Coach?
Great to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you. It's been a day or two, Babs. Hey, it's opening night. How you feeling?
Well, great. Obviously, opening night's always an exciting time. Doesn't matter where you're at.
Yes.
And we've had 10 exhibition games, lots of times to get ready. I mean, the kids missed hockey for 2 years here. Now they're pumped. They want to play, and we should have a good crowd here tonight. We obviously have a beautiful building, as you can see, and it's great to share with people.
Steve Cook was just in here, and he said that you told him that these are NHL caliber facilities. I haven't seen them. I got to get a tour here. What do you got going on?
Well, for
here?
sure. Underneath, the building's spectacular here. They built it right because they didn't build it too big for college hockey. But underneath, we have NHL facilities, and I'm not kidding you, we're better than some NHL teams. So between our video theater, our lounge, our dressing room, our areas for trainers, then we have the full medical center right here, the physios. We have the weight room at the far end. You don't get it better than that in college hockey. You just don't.
Better than Joe Louis Arena?
Hard to believe that, eh? you know, obviously now Detroit has a new facility,
right.
And so it would be the same. But any of those older buildings, even though they've been upgraded, they're still not the same as this. This is spectacular.
All right. Well, I can't wait to have a look around. I can't wait to go to the hockey games. And I got to ask you this. Are you having fun? That's my number one question.
You know, it's been a ride. Number one is my son's working with me. He's taking his MBA and on our staff. So that's exciting anytime you get to work with family. And then, you know, I'm at one sister's house, then I'm at another sister's house, and then there's my sister's grandkids are around, and I got buddies here in town. My wife's family's in Lloyd. So that's an experience we haven't had in forever. I mean, we'd come home in the summer, a little late, but not like this. So that's been fun.
I caught myself right off the start of the show saying, Mike Babcock makes his Canada West debut. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No.
A couple years ago.
It's been in a while. How long were you at Lethbridge?
8 months.
Oh, that's it, eh?
Yeah, no, I was there 8 months. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I love hunting and fishing, and the Crow's Nest Pass is spectacular.
Good place for you.
You betcha. And then obviously we had a real good team. We had a great run that year. It's unfortunate the Leopards are no longer in the league. Had a great run. And anytime you have success, those guys are with you forever. And so your contact with those people over the years has been spectacular.
Well, just take me through this for a second, because there's those iconic photos of you in the McGill uniform with your shocking blonde hair. Right? And they talk about you as a U of S student. What was your university resume as a player?
Okay, so I was a 17-year-old. I played split with the Saskatoon Jays and the Blades. And as an 18-year-old...
That was the junior A?
You betcha. Junior A and the Blades. And so as a 17-year-old, I did that. And then as an 18-year-old at fall camp, I don't know why I did this. I came and played for the U of S. That made no sense. Probably wasn't smart, but I came and did that. Kinger said, Babs, you better go back and play hockey. So I went back and I had picked up my rights, played in the Western Hockey League, and then went to McGill. And, you know, no different than these guys is McGill deserves a lot of credit for the foundation. You're a student athlete. They build a foundation for you to confidence so you can get on with the rest of your life. 5 of my best friends in the world, so the 6 of us have been hanging out together for 40 years, and now the wife's probably 35, so a while. And obviously we've been together a long time. It's a lot of fun, and that's what happens right here at the U of S.
Of course. Did you graduate from McGill then?
I did.
You did? Okay, cool. So here's a made in Canada story that I was telling somebody last night. I'm in a Lululemon at Cross Iron Mills Mall in Calgary yesterday, and the guy behind the counter was talking about my show, and I said, I'm going to have Mike Babcock on tomorrow. The girl working behind him goes, Mike Babcock is a wonderful human being. And I said, well, I think so, but what makes you say that? She goes, my uncle's TD Forrest. He was in Spokane, blah, blah, blah. Like those Spokane friendships go back a real long way.
Well, you just think about it. So I started at Red Deer College. Rob Cookson was on my staff. He coached in Ottawa for the Senators. Annie Nowicki was on my staff. He was the goaltending coach for the LA Kings. Ray Bennett was on my staff. He's with Colorado Avalanche. When you go through it in Spokane, Tim Speltz, the general manager, is the GM for the American League team for Vegas. TD Force has been all over. He's been with the Eskimos, he's been with the Calgary Flames, he's now with the Edmonton Oilers. So those connections you have in your career are spectacular. And obviously, TD Force is one of my best friends in the world and fun guy to be around.
Well, he's a very popular uncle with this young gal anyway, so she said to say hi. Babs, talk to me about the university athlete. Have they changed since you were one?
Oh, I think probably everything, you know, I kind of look at it every 10 years, there's got to be a huge step. I mean, you just keep getting better and better and things faster and faster. And saying all that, though, you know, there's in a lot of ways, they're student athletes first, without any question. They come, and what I find is they compartmentalize their time. They live in the present. So when they're at school, they're all in. But when they come here, we get them in the weight room, they're all in there. They're all in on the ice. They want to get better. When they go home to their families or whatever they're doing, they're all in there. They're exceptional people, and they're trying to find their passion. It was hockey. They were going to play in the National Hockey League. Doesn't look like they're going to do that now. They're trying to find the next thing. And, the difference between good and great is passion, because when you find your passion, you can work harder and longer than the next guy at it. And so that's what they're doing now.
So when you're going around that room and looking in those eyes, is it the same look as NHL players?
Well, we'll be at game time for sure. And yet, in saying that, it's interesting. You have a meeting with a guy in the NHL, it's 10 minutes max. When you're talking about their life or whatever. Here, it can be 30 minutes
or longer.
It's just that's just the way it is. What I would say to you though is, great young men and want to make a difference, are trying to find their way, and still love the game of hockey and are giving a lot to the school.
Probably would be naive of me to think that you just walked in onto the bench and coached. What was your role in? I would think it'd be more than that in terms of recruiting and stuff. Yeah. Leading up to this, what was from the day you were hired to now? What have you been doing?
Well, I think when they let me know, I was doing it right away. I got on it, and so probably started in February. And you're doing everything you can, from phoning to texting to zooming with the guys and trying to get them to come here. Now, no different than any Canada West team. 7 or 8 of the highest profile guys that I recruited are in the American hockey. Are they going to end up here one day? They might. But the guys we were able to recruit and bring in are good players. And Dave Adolph did an unbelievable job here for a long period of time. 27 years he was here. And it's very competitive in Canada West, and you got to get good players. You can coach all you want. You need athletes to coach. And so we were fortunate that way. We worked hard at it. Brandon Cote, myself, worked hard at it to try to get the guys to come. We were disappointed. Sometimes we get the call the guy had signed in the American Hockey League, but that's what it's all about. They want to play pro. Take your opportunity when you get it.
But that's how close the level is and how good the hockey is. You want to talk a little bit about the style of game for those that don't know that are watching right now on Game Plus TV. Canadian men's university hockey has always been. What surprised you a little bit?
Well, I just think obviously the pace is unbelievable without any question. The game breaker at the NHL level, there's 2 or 3 guys on each team that create space every time they touch the puck. So when a guy touches the unreal skill, everyone backs off and gives him room. There's not that here. You got 1 or 2 guys, but it's really not that. So it becomes tight checking up and down the rink, and you got to grind. It's hard to score. But what I found with our group is we seem to be a resilient group. We stay at it hard. Obviously, it's a big game here tonight. The emotions sometimes get in the way of the home opener. You like to get through it and get on with it. But the reality of the situation, it's good hockey. They play hard. We got good team depth. And we plan on going after the other team here tonight.
I got to ask you a couple questions about, like I was saying to Scott Flory last hour, that these football youth sports jobs are highly coveted. Hockey are too. I wonder how much your phone rang for assistant coach job, because I know a few that called. So the guys wanted on this staff.
Well, for sure. Obviously, I wasn't involved in the initial part. They had 127 resumes they went through, and then they had a committee here, and they got it down, I think, to a dozen. And then I got involved at 4. And obviously, these jobs, you look at Schultze. Schultze was here 27 years. You don't have to move. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Plus,
great town.
Look at this facility. Look at the town. You can grow your family here. Brandon Cote was the guy we hired here. He was set up to be the next guy without any question. His wife teaches school in town. His young boys play hockey here in town. He's set up good that way, and he'll do a real nice job.
What's your split of WHL versus junior A guys? Roughly, I
think we got 3 from junior A, and the rest are all from the Western Hockey League. And the guys who played in junior A, Paul was a 100-point guy. Brooke was a 100-point guy. They're dominant players. We got good guys. We had 90-point guys that were captains of the Western Hockey League team. And I think we got 12 captains of the Western Hockey League team. You got a good hockey team here for sure. The skill guy who was going to go in the first round is playing in the National Hockey League. We don't have those guys, obviously.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I can't wait to watch this. Chance is here?
He is.
Did you coach his dad?
I did. No, it was,
how about that?
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
I talked to his mom. His mom was spectacular. She probably wouldn't want me saying this, but she said, "My boy's a good boy. You make sure you hug him. He's better if you hug him than if you yell at him." So anyway, obviously his dad played for me, I think when he was 16 or 17. I had a great conversation with his dad. They've got to know a lot of the parents here as they come to games and that, and they follow their kids around. And it's amazing as a hockey parent, and I know I did the same thing with my kids, is it's spectacular to watch him play. I was at a football game with my brother-in-law the other day. I had to move over. His kid was playing. He's so anxious and so uptight. You're trying so hard for your kid. But that's what love's all about right there.
Of course. Chance was the talk of the yesterday. The hair that he went on, and he could have played in the Western Hockey League. And his uncle's Curtis Hunt. Wow, must be nice to be back and get those connections again.
Well, you know what's so amazing is everywhere I go is so many people. And right away when you see them, you're thinking, okay, I know who this is, but what's their name? It's been a long time.
Because they all know you. Yeah.
Exactly. I play alumni hockey with the guys here on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, and that's spectacular too. These guys have been involved in this program a long time. They love the program. Financially, they're giving back to the program, and their sweat and that to make it happen is so important for the program to have success. They've done a great job of that.
What do you know about your opponents, the U of R Cougars? Did you play them as much as the women's teams have played? Do you know what you're playing tonight?
Yeah, we know who we're playing. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I know Todd Johnson. I've known for a long time, coached him. And so the coach I know well. I don't know the team as well. I'm going to get to know the team better as the year goes on. We played them in exhibition. I don't think exhibition's ever a measure just because you're trying out guys, you're trying out lineups, so it's not the same kind of thing, but it's a positive thing.
Do you mind if I get to some viewer questions here before I let you go?
Whatever you got here.
One from me or a media question was how you enjoyed the NHL and NBC thing. You looked right at home on the panel. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. When I was there, I really enjoyed it. Getting there sometimes, you're in New York, you come from Palm Springs, you come from wherever you're coming from. That's not the same thing, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the guys I worked with, Jonesy and Sharpie and the guys there. I thought that was really good. Enjoyed that part. Is it something I see myself doing? Not really.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I just I got a pretty full life, to be honest with you. Since I've been fired in the National Hockey League, my wife and I have had a great time. And we're fortunate we can do what we want to do, and we've done that, and we've enjoyed our family a lot, so it's been fun.
It's funny you say that because Wayne in Victoria, BC is watching. He says, does Mike find the stress a little less in university hockey compared to the NHL?
You know what? Stress is an interesting thing. People talk to me about it all the time. I like duress. And what I mean by that is a little duress gets you up in the morning, gets you going. In the end, the pressure, the stress is what you put on yourself. Once you're established in the league and you know you're going to work and you can pay your bills, it's what you do. It's just your job. It's what you do, and you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I should ask you this about that NHL and NBC thing, because you did look very at home. You were talking hockey and you've been in front of a camera enough, but what surprised you about that job? Working in the media?
Well, I guess what I would say to you is when you're in hockey every day and you're breaking it down and you're detailed in it, you don't have the time to share that with the fan. They don't really want you to do that.
Right.
So it's a cover. It's not in-depth. I like the in-depth stuff. I'd like to teach the fan what's going on in the game, even though they think they know, they're not really in it. And so that's the part that if I was doing that, I'd want to do.
Do you see a huge difference between U.S. hockey fans and Canadian hockey?
Well, it depends where you are. I mean, Detroit, Michigan, or Minnesota, I mean, it's just little parts of Canada, to be honest with you. That's how passionate they are. Different areas are passionate about different sports, and the ones they know the best, they're the most passionate about. But obviously, you go to Toronto, you go to Montreal, there's hockey fans. You go to Edmonton, you go to Calgary, there's huge hockey fans. Vancouver, they support their team. They know everything about it. That's what the media's covered. In the U.S., that team might be third on the media docket.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Diaco in Saskatoon says, welcome back to Saskatoon, Mike. What has surprised you the most coming back to the university level?
Well, I mean, just coming back to Saskatoon right away, you realize what a great city is, unbelievable people. Well, when you come to the U of S, you just see how passionate the people are about the U of S. When you see the alumni, when you see the players, they're proud to be a part of it. When you see this rink, you're proud to be a part of it. I think it's been special. And like I said to you before, when you have the opportunity to work with your son, my son's 26 years old. He's already graduated from university. He's played pro overseas. He's done his thing. He's trying to figure out where to go. That's fun because he's an adult. He gets a say. I think that's impressive.
From Alex Dick, he says, anytime you get Babcock on, I'm tuning in and probably rewatching once or twice. That's from Alex from the Puck and Pigskin podcast in Calgary. They say, I heard on the radio yesterday that the new arena in Detroit is the best in the league. I haven't seen it. Is it?
Well, it's good. I mean, obviously, the Illich family there, they've done an unbelievable job. You know, and Stevie's gone there after Kenny Holland, who did an unreal job for all those years. Now Stevie, they're going to build their product out so it'll match their arena, but they got a spectacular facility.
Kevin says, Mike, how many games or weeks does it truly take to recognize chemistry amongst players that you may see as the season goes on? It's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think it's a good question, too, is I would say, you know, I always thought in the NHL 10, but you don't have
10
that
games?
time, 10 games. You know, you have an 8-game exhibition schedule where you play the guys half the time. Then 10 games in, you kind of got things figured out. Here, we got to do it quicker because we have less games. In saying that, like I said to you earlier, exhibition doesn't tell me the same thing tonight will tell me.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, here's my last one for you. I've been dying to ask you this. That 2017 East Final, Saskatchewan Roughriders at Toronto Argonauts, you were there. Place was sold out. It was big news that you were there. If you remember, it went down to the last play of the game for us to go to the Grey Cup. Was it like dumb question to say, will the CFL survive in Toronto? Because you may or may not care. But that was a great day.
Oh, I care. I mean, when I grew up, Saskatchewan Roughriders were a big deal. When we were at the lake at Emma Lake, when we didn't have TV, my kids were over at the neighbors watching the Riders games. The best time to be on the lake at Emma Lake is when a Riders game's going on. There's no one out there. They're watching the Riders. So that's how much excitement it is. So it's a great, obviously, football spectacular. We need a pro league in Canada. The CFL is a lot of fun to be around. When you get a chance to go, it's special. When the guys brought in the Grey Cup to my office just to show it off to me there, that was fun too.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a wonderful thing. Mike, as always, thanks for all you do for us. When you were on the last time with us, I didn't realize it was the first interview since you'd left Toronto. So I appreciate you doing that. Yeah. All you've done for us. Good luck with the Huskies.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.